Page 144. What's the matter? Listen.
How does David feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
He has a backache.
A backache? How did he get it?
He played basketball all day.
Do exercises 1 through 15. You will hear the correct line after you speak. 1. We'll begin.
How does Brian feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
He has a sore throat.
A sore throat? How did he get it?
He talked on the telephone all day.
2. We'll begin.
How does Linda feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
She has a backache.
A backache? How did she get it?
She danced all day.
3. We'll begin.
How do you feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
I have a headache.
A headache? How did you get it?
I studied English all day.
4. We'll begin.
How does Gary feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
He has an earache.
An earache? How did he get it?
He listened to music all day.
5. We'll begin.
How does Maria feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
She has a cold.
A cold? How did she get it?
She waited for the bus all day.
6. We'll begin.
How does Charlie feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
He has a sore throat.
A sore throat? How did he get it?
He shouted all day.
7. We'll begin.
How does Mrs. Clark feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
She has a headache.
A headache? How did she get it?
Her baby cried all day.
8. You begin.
How do you feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
I have an earache.
An earache? How did you get it?
My dog barked all day.
9. You begin.
How does Carlos feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
He has a backache.
A backache? How did he get it?
He planted flowers all day.
10. We'll begin.
How does Daniel feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
He has a toothache.
A toothache? How did he get it?
He ate candy all day.
11. We'll begin.
How does Jennifer feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
She has a sore throat.
A sore throat? How did she get it?
She sang all day.
12. We'll begin.
How do you feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
I have a toothache.
A toothache? How did you get it?
I drank soda all day.
13. We'll begin.
How does Sarah feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
She has a backache.
A backache? How did she get it?
She sat all day.
14. You begin.
How do you feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
I have a stomach ache.
A stomachache? How did you get it?
I ate cookies all day.
15. You begin.
How does Tim feel?
Not so good.
What's the matter?
He has a backache.
A backache? How did he get it?
He rode his bicycle all day.
Page 146. The Wilsons' Party. Listen. Mr. and Mrs. Wilson invited all their friends and neighbors to a party last night. They stayed home all day yesterday and prepared for the party. In the morning, the Wilsons worked outside. Their daughter Margaret cleaned the yard. Their son Bob painted the fence. Mrs. Wilson planted flowers in the garden, and Mr. Wilson fixed their broken front steps. In the afternoon, the Wilsons worked inside the house. Margaret washed the floors and vacuumed the living room carpet. Bob dusted the furniture and cleaned the basement. Mr. and Mrs. Wilson stayed in the kitchen all afternoon. He cooked spaghetti for dinner, and she baked apple pies for dessert. The Wilsons finished all their work at 6 o'clock. Their house looked beautiful, inside and out. The Wilsons' guests arrived at about 7:30. After they arrived, they all sat in the living room. They ate cheese and crackers, drank lemonade, and talked. Some people talked about their children. Other people talked about the weather. And everybody talked about how beautiful the Wilsons' house looked, inside and out. The Wilsons served dinner in the dining room at 9 o'clock. Everybody enjoyed the meal very much. They liked Mr. Wilson's spaghetti, and they loved Mrs. Wilson's apple pie. In fact, everybody asked for seconds. After dinner, everybody sat in the living room again. First, Bob Wilson played the piano, and his sister Margaret sang. Then, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson showed a video of their trip to Hawaii. After that, they turned on the music, and everybody danced. As you can see, the Wilsons' guests enjoyed the party very much. In fact, nobody wanted to go home. Page 147. Listening. Listen and choose the word you hear. 1.
We plant flowers in our garden in the spring.
2.
I worked at the office all day.
3.
They studied English all morning.
4.
Mr. and Mrs. Jones sit in their living room all day.
5.
They drank lemonade all summer.
6.
I waited for the bus all morning.
7.
They finished their work at 5 o'clock.
8.
We invited our friends to the party.
9.
I eat cheese and crackers.
10.
She cleaned her apartment all afternoon.
11.
We wash our clothes at the laundromat.
12.
He watched TV all evening.
Page 148. Pronunciation. Past tense endings. Listen. Then say it.
I cooked, I cleaned, and I dusted. I worked, I played, and I planted flowers.
Say it. Then listen.
I typed,
I studied and I painted. I talked, I cried, and I shouted. Chapter 16, page 149. Vocabulary Preview. 1. Got up. 2. Took a shower. 3. Had breakfast. 4. Read the newspaper. 5. Did exercises. 6. Ate lunch. 7. Drove to the supermarket. 8. Bought groceries. 9. Made dinner. 10. Wrote a letter. 11. Saw a movie. 12. Went to sleep. Page 150. I brushed my teeth. Listen to the model.
Did you brush your hair this morning?
No, I didn't. I brushed my teeth.
Do exercises 1 through 6. You will hear the correct line after you speak. We'll begin. 1.
Did he wash his windows yesterday morning?
No, he didn't. He washed his car.
2.
Did she paint her kitchen this afternoon?
No, she didn't. She painted her bedroom.
3.
Did they study English last night?
No, they didn't. They studied Chinese.
4.
Did you and your friends play tennis yesterday afternoon?
No, we didn't. We played basketball.
5.
Did he bake a pie today?
No, he didn't. He baked a cake.
6.
Did you listen to the news this morning?
No, I didn't. I listened to music.
Page 151. We went to the supermarket. Listen to the model.
Did you go to the bank this afternoon?
No, we didn't. We went to the supermarket.
Do exercises 1 through 8. You will hear the correct line after you speak. We'll begin. 1.
Did you take the subway this morning?
No, I didn't. I took the bus.
2.
Did he have a headache last night?
No, he didn't. He had a backache.
3.
Did Wanda get up at 9 o'clock this morning?
No, she didn't. She got up at 7 o'clock.
4.
Did your children make dinner today?
No, they didn't. They made breakfast.
5.
Did Michael buy a car yesterday?
No, he didn't. He bought a bicycle.
6.
Did they do their homework last night?
No, they didn't. They did their exercises.
7.
Did Tommy write to his girlfriend this week?
No, he didn't. He wrote to his grandmother.
8.
Did you read the newspaper this afternoon?
No, I didn't. I read a book.
Page 152. Talk about it. What did they do yesterday? Listen.
Betty fixed her car yesterday morning. She washed her windows yesterday afternoon. She listened to music last night.
Bob read the newspaper yesterday morning. He went to the library yesterday afternoon. He wrote letters last night.
Nick and Nancy went to the supermarket yesterday morning. They bought a new car yesterday afternoon. They cleaned their apartment last night.
Jennifer did her exercises yesterday morning. She planted flowers yesterday afternoon. She took a bath last night.
Page 153. How to say it. Giving an excuse. Listen.
I'm sorry I'm late. I missed the bus.
I see.
Page 154. Late for work.
Victor usually gets up at 7 a.m. He does his morning exercises for 20 minutes. He takes a long shower. He has a big breakfast. And he leaves for work at 8 o'clock. He usually drives his car to work and gets there at 8:30. This morning, however, he didn't get up at 7 a.m. He got up at 6:30. He didn't do his morning exercises for 20 minutes. He did them for only 5 minutes. He didn't take a long shower. He took a very quick shower. He didn't have a big breakfast. He had a very small breakfast. He didn't leave for work at 8 o'clock. He left for work at 7 o'clock. Victor didn't drive his car to work this morning. He drove it to the repair shop. Then he walked a mile to the train station, and he waited for the train for 15 minutes. After he got off the train, he walked half a mile to his office. Even though Victor got up early and rushed out of the house this morning, he didn't get to work on time. He got there 45 minutes late. When his supervisor saw him, she got angry, and she shouted at him for 5 minutes. Poor Victor. He really tried to get to work on time this morning.
Page 155. Listening. Listen and put a check next to all the things these people did today. You will hear each selection twice.
Carla got up early this morning. She took a shower, she had breakfast, and she took the subway to work. She didn't have lunch today. She left work at 5:30, and she met her mother at 6 o'clock. They had dinner at a restaurant. Then they saw a movie. Carla got up early this morning. She took a shower, she had breakfast, and she took the subway to work. She didn't have lunch today. She left work at 5:30, and she met her mother at 6 o'clock. They had dinner at a restaurant. Then they saw a movie.
Brian had a busy day today. This morning he fixed his car. Then he cleaned his yard. This afternoon he planted flowers, and then he washed his windows. This evening he read the newspaper, and he wrote to his brother. Then he took a bath. Brian had a busy day today. This morning he fixed his car. Then he cleaned his yard. This afternoon he planted flowers, and then he washed his windows. This evening he read the newspaper, and he wrote to his brother. Then he took a bath.
Page 156. Pronunciation. Did you? Listen. Then say it.
Did you go to the bank? Did you brush your hair? Did you listen to the news? Did you take the subway?
Say it. Then listen.
Did you go to the supermarket? Did you play tennis? Did you read the newspaper? Did you see a movie?